All right, so thank you for attending the webinar today. We appreciate you taking time out of your day to do so. It's kind of exciting to always look at a new opportunity and a new channel. So as a quick overview, I'm going to introduce myself and a little bit about NextPax, and then our good friend and channel partner with Holidu, Stephen. He will introduce himself a little bit more, and then most of the time going through Holidu and talking about that. So Stephen, if you want to go to the next slide.
Yeah.
One more. So I know some of the people who are watching this have already been working with NextPax, but for those who haven't, we've been providing connectivity since 2006 in the vacation rental space. And so we've seen a lot of different things as the industry has evolved and figured out how to solve a lot of the problems. We are based in Almere, the Netherlands. We also have teams in the US, most of us in Utah, and then also in Asia now, with the team primarily in Singapore. So we've seen some nice global expansion with that. Our focus has always been primarily on the vacation rental space. We do a little bit in some other lodging, but 99% of this is in the VR space. At this point, we do have over 1 million properties on the platform. That can sound very impressive, but the reality is what matters is the properties you have. And to that end, we kind of have a philosophy of automating everything that you possibly can. And that the PMS should be the source of truth, and that's where you should do the vast majority of your work, versus having to go to multiple systems and do various things. So again, our philosophy, let's automate it, let's not do manual items. This then comes into very quick onboarding, not only to our systems, but also into partner systems and platforms. Let's go to the next slide. So just a real quick here, we do connect to a lot of different property management software systems. This is just a list of those primarily in the US and a few in Europe. In total, I think we're over 60 integrations at this point with various third-party PMSs as well as proprietary PMSs. So if you're working with one of these, we're always happy to bring you on board. And if you're not, we're always willing to talk to you for other solutions. I'm not going to go through the channels and other things we have now. We can always talk a little bit more about that later. So let's go to the next slide. And then just to kind of recap us, and then we're going to turn it on over to Stephen. So we've got a very much proven track record. We've been doing this for many years. We're the largest connectivity provider, I think, in the industry for vacation rentals. And as I had mentioned earlier, tremendous amount of focus on automation. We range from customers that have 2 or 3 properties up to 50,000 properties. And if you have 10, 20, 30, 50,000 properties, you're not doing anything manually. Just absolutely impossible. Obviously, the vacation rental inventory has a lot of uniqueness, a lot of variations, characteristics, and that's where we really optimize things for, based on everything that we've seen over the years. Obviously, when you're working with something like this, having that one-to-one relationship with us, and then from us, one-to-many, makes you much more efficient. Gives you the opportunity to get out and really have more eyeballs on what you're doing, pick up guests in different locations along that side. Obviously, you always want your data as fresh as possible. Rates and availability, that's the obvious, but also your photos, your other content and things like that. We're always synchronizing that, so that will be something that you really need. Obviously, we want to manage all your distribution. One platform makes it very easy. So working your PMS, we take care of your distribution from there. Due to the fact that we do so much on the technology space, and that's really all we focus on. We don't do websites, we don't do guest communication, we don't do anything else. We are really very quick with the technology improvements, new APIs, new ways of working with channels. So just in general, velocity of development is extremely good. And then, we have excellent support and service. We respond to people very quickly, whether it's by phone or email or support desk tickets. So for those of you who are new and not worked with us, love to work with you in the future. For those who are on and are our current partners, we love you and love to continue working with you. With that, let me go ahead and turn it over to Stephen, and you can take it away.
Thanks, Jim. No, thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity to appear here today and speak to you guys. And really excited. So just quickly introduce myself. So so my name is Stephen Thresh. As you can hear, I'm British, but I've been for the last 6 years based in New York. And actually, as of this year, I'm now an American citizen. So I have a passport. But to give it a little bit of background on myself, so I've been in the travel industry now for 20 odd years. I was 19 of those years, I was actually with Booking.com. And before moving over to Holidu, I was the regional director for all things accommodation in North America. And so this is month 4 with me for Holidu, and excited that we're entering this new venture and this new expansion into the US markets after having been so established in the European market for a number of years. So, and who are we? So essentially, our mission is to finally make the search and booking of vacation homes easy. And when we talk about finally making that easy, what that really means is essentially it's been one of the challenges in the industry has been being able to identify essentially the same property across multiple systems and multiple platforms and being able to rate shop. I know when I was at Booking, it was very difficult for us to do rate comparison. And so Holidu started out really as a way of being able to do that, and started more as a meta search than an OTA, and has developed over the years into much more of an OTA. But I'll go into a little bit more detail in that in a minute. So essentially, the evolution for the business, it was actually these two nice chaps here. There's two brothers who, Johannes and Michael, who are the CEO and the CTO of the business. And they're both surfers. And back in the day, they spent their time basically hanging out at the beach and staying at various different properties. And one of the things that kind of they struggled with, as I said, was being able to actually rate shop and rate compare against from between the different channels that were available. Because unlike a hotel, obviously a different units are called different things on different platforms, and different houses, and they had different descriptions. So what they did is they developed some technology that allowed them to be able to actually find the best rate, and I'll get to that in a second. So Holidu really started as a meta search, and then developed onwards. So then in 2016, they got up to 1 million monthly users, and started to really start to take shape. In 2019, they actually got the Series C funding and grew to 200 employees, and they had 40 million euros for their Series C funding, and that's where it started to really kind of take off as a business. And now last year, even though that with all the challenges of the pandemic, they actually continue to grow. I think they grew 2.5 times last year, and continue to grow as a business, and are now safely and nicely in there as a top 4 booking platform of vacation rentals within Europe. So as you'll guess, probably sitting number 4 behind the big 3, as it were. But with 25 million unique users a month. So really the business has exploded and has grown very quickly. And then I'm happy to say, you may have seen in Skift last week, that we actually just had our Series D funding, and they just raised $45 million for the business. So again, a nice show of faith coming out of challenging times, that the business is growing nicely and going in the right direction. So when I mentioned about kind of how we managed to identify the best rate for a same property. So what they did was we built some image recognition software that essentially allows, instead of looking at the name of the property or looking at the description, what it does is it looks at the photos. So it identifies properties across different platforms that have the same photos, and then the address, and says, okay, this is the same property, and we're able to actually rate compare the site. So at that point, they just had affiliate deals with Booking, with Vrbo, with Airbnb, and then as the years go on, more and more it's become about having direct relationships with the property managers, which is why we're here. And so what we do is when we actually rate compare, we prioritize that relationship with the property manager. And so, and one of the great things about us is we put your brand front and center. So we don't white label the product. So you're not appearing just as Booking.com, we actually have your brand clearly displayed on the site when you're working directly with us. And if it's the same rate across all platforms, then we prioritize that direct relationship. And then that guest knows who they're booking through, which is great for return bookings later on down the line. And also we have, when we push pass the booking through to you via NextPax in this case, then that guest is your direct guest, and all communication comes directly through to you and the guest. So it's a great way of actually building that relationship with the guest and building up that repeat bookers, as I said, going forward. A little bit more facts about us. So we currently have 16 million properties online, as in 25 million unique visitors. We work with 1,200 property management companies around the world. Well over that now. As I said, we're a top 4 booking platform globally, and we have over 2 million travelers in 2020, and equated to 400 million euros worth of bookings last year. And so looking a little bit at kind of a detail of what the US looks like. So our average night stay is 6.2 nights. Our average booking value is $1,600. Our average lead time is 28 days, and our average stay is 4 people per stay. And with that, in the 28 days, it's been challenging times right now, because, as you know, a lot of our bookings and our brand is well known in Europe, and so obviously with travel restrictions, then a lot of our business has come from the US in the last year, because obviously people can't travel. But we are also now in the process of building inventory for when international restrictions come off, and we have a very nice. Our number 1 source booking country would be Germany, then it would be Spain, and then it would be France, and then the UK. But obviously we also have a following in the US as well. So it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different audience to say that you would get through some of Europe more established US partners. And then when we look at kind of a big part of our business is mobile. So 60% of our bookings come through via mobile, and so the site is optimized for mobile and ready to go. But then the next will be computer and then tablets, but very much a mobile site. So some stats when we looked at actually some preferences for the US. Nothing is going to come here as a big surprise to anyone, I don't think. We've got our preferred letting preferences: vacation home, followed by log cabin, followed by apartment. Keyword searches: pool, obviously, very much around about the holiday letting rather than an urban setting. Pets allowed, and internet, and then amenities would be parking, heating, and TV. Holidu is very, very much about driving bookings through your traditional holiday rental, rather than say a urban New York, San Francisco destination. So we primarily focus on those holiday destinations. So how do we get you more bookings? As I said, basically we put your brand front and center. So when someone searches, and I'll show you a profile page in a minute, and someone searches, then your property appears with your brand there as well. So it's on-site booking. So you guys are the merchant. So we pass the booking through to you, and the guest pays you direct as per your terms and conditions. As I said, we promote your branding. It's mobile optimization. I think a reason to come on board is obviously you've got your bookings from Vrbo, Airbnb, maybe Booking.com, but it's nice to actually have a bigger spread of bookings as well. So it lowers your dependence on your bigger channels. At this stage, we may be one of your bigger channels at some time in the future, but right now it's nice to lower that dependence on other channels and spread the bookings across. There's no risk involved, as I say, there's no upfront payments. We invoice you monthly on departures as per your terms and conditions. So you'll receive a booking list, which you go through just to make sure that they've all stayed, and amend that as need be. And then we invoice you as monthly on departures. And you'll get a personal account manager. For now, it's me, but we're about to have 2 new starters coming up soon, and so we'll have a team now stateside. But we also have a customer happiness team based in Munich as well. That's 24/7. But you'll have a stateside team, and not a European company that's going to be managing you from Munich. But at the same time, it is about European distribution. We are very well known across the major markets in Europe, and so it is a different type of distribution. And then I just did a screen grab, and I just made a search for Fort Myers Beach. And as you can see on there, the second one down, Sea Gypsy is a brand, is a PMC that works with us. And as I say, we're very clear that it's them who you're booking through. In terms of searches, we're still a growing business here, to be honest with you. So we're still very much building inventory, and that's a key thing. We're at the beginning of our inventory journey. In 2020, as you can see on the heat map on the left-hand side, primarily the listings we have are Florida. We have some in LA, a little bit in San Francisco, and a little bit in Nashville. We're growing that from now. But and then if we look at the searches on our sites, really, again, it is Florida as you'd expect, but Tennessee, we're talking the Carolinas, we're talking up in the Northeast as well, where we actually have big bubbles where we do not have currently have inventory. So we're really very keen to build that inventory up. There is demand, there is pent-up demand here as well for you to take advantage of. So what does the journey look like for us? Oh, okay. So when someone makes that search on Holidu, obviously we said the name and the logo of your company are displayed very front and center for our customers to see. Our Holidu customer happiness team is available to help clients complete their booking if they have trouble as well, but most of it will be online, but we can help them for anyone. If you look in some areas, they like to have that customer touch point, Germany, for example. The booking is I'm hoping this is right with Jim, that the NextPax calendar is updated and synchronized. So we pull availability and everything is fully integrated with NextPax.
That is correct. It's happening in basic real time.
Fantastic. Thank God I got that right. The client pays you directly as per your policy and cancellation policy. If you take a deposit up front, if you take a refundable deposit, we work with whatever you charge. You are in contact with the clients from the beginning to manage check-in. We're very upfront, and we want you to have that direct contact with the guest. And then, as I said last time, there's no cash advance. The commission is due month after the beginning of the stay. And I wanted to say, one of the things is we know it's really busy. We know that vacation rental is going crazy this year. There's a lot of factors out there that no international travel, well, very little international travel. Hotels still kind of recovering. Everything is looking fantastic for vacation rental right now. So we know your summer is coming up, and you know your summer is really busy for most of you. So, but we want you to be able to kind of take the risk out of taking a chance and working with a new channel in the market. And so what we'd like to do is we're actually extending an offer for NextPax properties, which is if you sign up before the June 11th, basically all your bookings made before August the 31st will be at 0% commission. So you can try us with no risk and see really kind of what makes Holidu a fantastic partner for you. So it's a big opportunity for us. Obviously, it's a big thing for us to make this available, but we know we want to be able to show what we can do, and we want to be able to show that we can be a viable alternative to your current channels. And so we want you to take that risk out of that right now. So that's just an offer that we are making. So how did this start? First of all, we just need you to sign up via our Holidu partner portal. And that can be found on the site, or if you contact me, I can send it to you. And it takes 5 minutes just to register yourselves, put your company information in. From there, we'll send you an agreement for you to e-sign and send back to us. And at that point, everything is cool. So we then take over the onboarding. We manage that with the NextPax team here. And we won't contact you again until it's time for onboarding, which I think should take a week or two. And at that point, we will take you one of our onboarding team will take you through with test bookings and make sure everything is ready to go before we set you live and start giving you some bookings. So I'd just like to say thank you for your attention. It's been great to be able to talk to you and kind of have this stage with Jim. And if anyone on the call has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them now. Or if not, you can email me or contact me on stephen.thresh@holidu.com, and we can have a chat outside of this. But yeah, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you.
Yeah, well, I think I don't see any questions right now. So let's go ahead and wrap up. So again, thank you everybody for taking time out of your day to watch this. And hopefully we'll see you working with Holidu and NextPax. So thank you
Thank you,
again.
everyone.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.